So hi guys, here's my little tutorial about public speaking. So now here I am standing in front of you talking in public, in front of an audience. Not really because it's in front of a camera, but it is very similar. Interestingly enough, I'm very sure that you already decided that you actually like me. You thought, I think what Matt's going to tell us now is going to be good. So I keep listening. So you're actually paying attention right now. And there are only two things right at the beginning of this video that I did that made you do that. So I actually manipulated you. I'm sorry, but that's what I actually did. So when I started talking, I did two things. The first one was I smiled. Okay, I looked at you and I smiled. I flicked my eyebrows and I smiled. And then the second thing I did is I showed you my hands. Okay, I showed you my hands, which is a universal signal to your subconscious brain telling you unarmed, no weapons. I have nothing to hide. I'm just here, it's just me. Show you my hands, I have nothing. I'm not hiding anything. I don't have my hands in my pocket. I'm not doing anything like this. I'm not protecting myself. I'm totally open, unarmed, no weapons. There's no danger that comes from me. And all this happened within a split second. Within a split second, you decided, I think what Matt's going to tell us is good. I don't think he is an enemy because he seems to be open and honest in his communication. So these are the first two things I want to tell you and teach you in terms of public speaking. If you want to take it to the next level straight away from tomorrow, if you walk into a room, for example, into a site induction and you introduce yourself, you welcome a few people on site, don't do it like this or like this. Do it like this. Hi guys, very excited to have you here. Thanks for your time. And then you can maybe do something like this. So if you initially don't feel quite comfortable, because I know exactly how it feels. I'm the most scared public speaker ever. I only started conquering that fear about 1.5 years ago. You know, a little bit more tricky for me. English is my second language, so that made it even harder for me to get over my public speaking fears. But I made a start recording YouTube videos, watching all sorts of other people talk, but pay attention to the open hands. If you look at any speaker in TV shows, politicians, they all do it. They all come on like this because they wanna try to trigger the same responses. Obviously, a politician always has a hard time doing that, but that's a very common way of communicating in body language. You know, if we stand like this, we are uncomfortable. You know, we are hiding something because that's the most vulnerable section of our body. So we might decide to hide that. Or if you're not quite sure, we might hide our hands in our pockets. So we don't want to do that either. So we don't keep our hands out there. And again, initially, what you can do if you're not quite comfortable having your hands just moving around, doing all sorts of gestures, in a professional setting, such as on site, you know, talking at a pre-start meeting, there's nothing wrong with doing a fist and doing that one. You know, have your hands just like this in front of your tummy. That's fine. That looks okay. If you wish, as you keep talking, you could, you know, open up your hands at times to emphasize, or just keep them there for the time being. That's perfectly fine. And it looks professional. Here's the best thing. No one in your audience will notice that you are nervous. I'm nervous right now, and can you tell? No, you can't. I'm nervous, I'm stage fright, I really am, I'm not joking. And the same applies to you. As you stand there, people will actually admire you. They will actually admire you. They will look at you, they won't admit it, most of them won't admit it, but they will actually look at you and think, well, look at this guy. He's bloody brave, just talking here like this, confident, in front of 10, 15, 20 people. That's great. Good on him. They won't admit that like this, but that's what they actually think. They don't look at you and say, look at this. That's the laughing stock of the company. They don't do that. So bear this in mind. That's the second most important thing, is that no one will notice that you're actually nervous. So hands like this, or even better, because you're at a pre-start meeting. So what that means, you're actually holding something in your hand. That makes it even easier again. So you have that nice clipboard in your hand and you can hide behind it. So you hold that in your hand. Or what I used to do initially, I always had to have something in my hand. I was incredibly uncomfortable standing like this without anything in my hand. So what I did is I was always holding a pen. I always had a pen in my hand. So you could do that as well. A text marker from your whiteboard on side, whatever you might have. A piece of paper rolled together, holding it in your hand. Just having something in your hand, so your hands are at rest. And then as you keep talking and the number of occasions are increasing where you're speaking in public to people, you will become more comfortable. And at some stage, I decided I don't need the pen anymore. I can just do it without a pen. So that's great. So that's the progression of it. So once again, body gestures, body language, just comfortable. Hands in front of your tummy if you wish, or holding on to your clipboard, reading out the pre-start meeting, doing eye contact. Definitely don't do things like smoking. That's a distraction. You don't want to do it. It looks very unprofessional as a supervision personality standing at a pre-start meeting smoking. That's no good. That's an absolute no. Remove your sunglasses. Have eye contact. Look at people. Briefly, don't stare at them, but briefly look at them. And once again, I'm just as nervous as you will be tomorrow talking in front of a pre-start, in front of your workers doing a pre-start meeting. So it is just a matter of pushing yourself that little bit past your comfort zone and getting onto it. And you may already be an expert. You may have been speaking in front of audiences before and feel already comfortable. That's great. That's fantastic, because that is very impactful. Some people meet you at a pre-start meeting for the very first time. That's the first impression they get of you. So make sure it's a good one. So that's my very brief wrap on public speaking. Keep trying. If you want to take it to the next level, record yourself on video. Take your iPhone at home and take the pre-start, take a photo of your pre-start. Read out the pre-start in front of the camera, watch yourself. It's amazing what you learn about yourself if you see yourself on camera, and then you can tweak things. The next thing you can do, that's my third tip, practice your voice, because you need to speak loud enough that people can hear you. And if you are not used to that, that's something you need to practice. Good way to practice this, on your way to work in the car. No one can hear you. That's what I do. I speak sometimes to myself in the car for an hour on the motorway, just talking on my feet, practicing speeches, practicing different styles of my voice, my tone of voice, my volume, and I just talk, just practice. No one need even notice if you see someone talking to themselves in the car. That's nothing of concern, because everyone thinks you're on the phone or you're hands-free. So that's a good way of practicing your tone of voice. So yeah, public speaking, once again, something that seems scary. Everyone is nervous, including myself right now. Everyone is stage fright. Everyone always will be, and you're no exception. So just push yourself past that boundary. That's a good hand gesture. Do that for as long as you like. And as you feel more comfortable, try to open up your body language.